Last year, it did not have much persons on the Sony side that admitted the truth, that said the truth to their fan base and to their audience. When it came to admitting how many games Sony produced in 2023, I mean, we had PlayStation fans telling their audience that Sony produced 50 games, 50 VR games. We had guys saying Sony produced Burning Shores. Sony had so much content in 2023. Well, one of the biggest Sony fans is finally telling the truth.
PlayStation got some course correcting to do in 2024. 2023 to me was already unacceptable. They got some course correcting to do. They got some shit they need to address. 2023 was unacceptable to me because you only released one game of relevance, and first party. Let me clarify that. One first party game of relevance and consequence. Let it be clear, moving forward in this video, when I talk about games, I am talking about PlayStation first party games unless I specify third party. Because you new age weirdos are suddenly trying to downplay the importance of first party games. That is why we buy a specific console. Not that third party games don't matter, they absolutely matter. But we buy these for first party games, the things we cannot get anywhere else. So you new weirdos acting like first party hasn't always been the most important thing, especially with the PlayStation brand. I ain't dealing with y'all, okay? I guess because your overlords only released one first party game last year that suddenly y'all felt like y'all needed to pivot and spin this like first party ain't the most important. I ain't dealing with y'all, okay? I guess I should say I don't subscribe to that nonsense, okay? Last year was unacceptable.
Clear, concise, yes. Finally, someone is saying the truth. PlayStation was horrible in 2023. Well, in 2024, we want our Sony fans, we want our ponies strong. So because of that, we are feeding you guys toast. Yes, good toast we are feeding you ponies this year. So you might say, well, how am I going to make toast? Well, with your brand new toaster, of course. Come on down. We have an Xbox Series X toaster with all the trimmings. We have the latest technology of the X being burned and branded onto the center of your toast. Yes, you can make toast for an entire year with this new toaster. So yes, this isn't a joke, guys. Microsoft really came out with a toaster for us to feed these ponies toast. Yes, it's only $39.99. You could get it at Walmart or any leading stores. So yes, get your toaster today. But today we're not here to talk about toasters. We're not here to talk about how Sony fans are now coming to the realization that 2023 was a terrible year. Today we are here to talk about some big news. For one, a known leaker insider is saying that internal reviews have Hellblade 2 scoring some high numbers when it comes to reviews. Yes, we even have more discussion on what was the most played RPG for 2023. We know that it had a lot of games for 2023, but what was played the most for the entire year? We'll find that out. So without further ado, let's get it.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. So before we start, don't forget,
I want to reach 1 million likes. So please, subscribe.
First up, let's talk about Hellblade 2. We know not too long ago, we had another showing of Hellblade 2 at the Jeff Keighley Game Awards, and it really was impressive. Person's jaw was on the ground, seeing that Microsoft really is pushing the envelope when it comes to graphics with Hellblade 2. So much so that even Insomniac Games were inspired to have their new Wolverine game look exactly like Hellblade 2. But as most of us know, a game looking good or a game with high graphical fidelity does not equal a good game. You know, the team there would need to put in more effort into the story, more effort into the gameplay for this game to score well. Well, there is a new report from a known leaker, Nate the Hate, and he is hearing that internal reviews for Hellblade 2 is reading very high. Listen to him here.
That last year I was hearing that the internal Metacritic score that Microsoft had for the game was in the 90s.
Who?
And
so interesting.
that's high.
Okay, so if it's not, if they haven't, so they're focus group testing. They're having reviewers come in to check it out, and they're getting back stuff in the 90s, scores in the 90s. Then is what you're saying.
Yeah, at least internally, that is what they're anticipating. Not sure if it's fully based on mock reviews. It could just be internal mock reviews. I'm not sure if it's been external mock reviews. But if that is what they're projecting, is something in the low 90s, that would be their highest Metacritic game since Gears 3. And that could surprise a lot of people if it comes in, especially if it comes in the early portion of 2024 and they start off the year with, let's say, a game with a Metacritic score of 92.
That'd be impressive.
It sets a tone.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for from Microsoft, is a game that's not a Forza Horizon to show up and hit in that low 90s. That's the big thing that people are pushing for them. So if that happened, that would be impressive. One, I'd have to give Ninja Theory a ton of credit for building off of Hellblade 1, but also Microsoft for allowing them to go that far. So that is the one I'm definitely keeping an eye on, though, is Hellblade 2.
So yes, Microsoft is expecting high reviews when it comes to Hellblade 2. So what do you think Hellblade 2 would score when it's all said and done? Do you think it will score in the high 80s or in the low 90s? Let me know in the comment sections below. Next, let's talk about the most played RPG of 2023. When it comes to Bethesda, we know Bethesda pedigree. We know that they are some of the best, if not the best, when it comes to making RPGs. So many RPGs would have been inspired because of what Bethesda would have done with games like Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and so on, even Dishonored. We know that when they announced that they were making a new IP, the industry stood up and listened to what they were saying. We know that fans on both sides, both the Xbox and the PlayStation sides, went crazy.
Deal, baby. Come on. Uh-oh. Come on, man. Let's go! Yes!
Hearing that Bethesda was making Starfield. Yes, now this is where things started to get sour for one group, which is the Sony group. When they heard that Starfield was going to be exclusive to our Xbox platform.
And yes, it's exclusive. Well, and yes, it's exclusive.
I mean, that had the Sony community going absolutely crazy. Because remember, Starfield was supposed to be the PlayStation 5 game. You remember that? You guys remember that? Yes, some PlayStation fans went so crazy that they even started a petition to make Starfield exclusive. So that is what we had to deal with last year, 2023. Starfield was the most talked about game ever in 2023. Yeah? And then Starfield came up against Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate gained popularity in two ways in 2023. The first way it gained popularity was when it was shown that it is possible to do boom boom time with a beer in Baldur's Gate, Deviants. Secondly, it became very popular because when Baldur's Gate launched, it was a complete game. It had very little bugs, no crashing. It was a complete game. It was a game that basically put the industry on notice, helping persons to see that your game don't have to be released broken. As a matter of fact, persons were starting to say that Baldur's Gate needed to be the industry standard. So that is why Baldur's Gate gained popularity in 2023. So Starfield was against this juggernaut which was Baldur's Gate, and for the most part, Baldur's Gate took everything. It got the most nominations throughout the gaming websites. It won the most awards at Jeff Keighley Game Awards, and even it sold a lot, having the highest player count on Steam as well in 2023. So then, which game was played the most? Which RPG between Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield was played the most in 2023? So you might say it have to be Baldur's Gate 3. Well then, you just might be surprised. Listen to this article.
Players spent more time in Starfield in 2023 than in Baldur's Gate 3. There were a lot of great games released in 2023, but Baldur's Gate 3 received huge acclaim from critics and players, and it can already be called the main project of the year, although the results are still being summed up. Most of the Game of the Year awards went to Baldur's Gate 3, as did many of the best RPG titles of the past year. But players seem to be spending more time in Starfield, which has been heavily criticized since its release. The Game Infinitus portal drew attention to the official statistics from Larian and Bethesda, which were published for the games Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield. Larian, players had played 452,556,984 hours in Baldur's Gate 3 by December 5, 2023. At the same time, the game was released on August 3, 2023 on PC, and in early September it was released on PlayStation 5, and only on December 8, 2023 on Xbox Series X. Bethesda, players had spent 534,823,944 hours playing Starfield by December 20, 2023. At the same time, the game was released on September 6, 2023 on Xbox Series X and PC. Considering that Starfield came out later than Baldur's Gate 3 by about a month and Bethesda's statistics capture several additional days of December, we can assume that the situation is approximately balanced. From this we can conclude that players spent more time in Starfield in 2023 than in Baldur's Gate 3. Note that Starfield is available on Game Pass, unlike Baldur's Gate 3. At the same time, Larian does not plan to add its popular role-playing project to the subscription.
Yes, Starfield did not win the war, but Starfield won that battle. Starfield is the most played RPG of 2023. So although the PlayStation fans and the gaming industry wanted Starfield to fail, while they wanted Starfield to flop, all Starfield did was came up. Yes? But let me hear what you think about everything we said today. Let me hear what you think about Starfield winning another award. Let me know in the comment sections below. Don't forget guys to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.